What if I told you that alien blood is real? Not in some distant galaxy, but right here on Earth. And forget what you've seen in sci-fi movies, because the truth is far stranger and way more interesting. It flows through the veins of an animal that seems torn from the pages of a science fiction novel, an animal that's more bizarre and more intelligent than most people can imagine. The secret to its otherworldly blue blood isn't just some biological party trick, it's a masterclass in survival, and a key to thriving in some of the most extreme environments on our planet. By the end of this, you'll never look at the ocean the same way again. We're not talking about a creature from a distant star, we're talking about an animal you might know, but you don't really know. An animal with 3 hearts, the ability to solve complex puzzles, and a nervous system so spread out, it's like having a separate mind in each of its arms. We are talking about the octopus, and its blood is blue. This isn't a trick of the light or some weird diet. It's a fundamental difference in its biology that sets it apart from us and from the vast majority of vertebrates on the planet. So, what makes this creature's lifeblood a vibrant shade of sapphire, and why did evolution choose this bizarre path? The answer takes us deep into the world of chemistry, survival, and evolutionary genius. The octopus has always held a special place in our imagination. It's an invertebrate, a mollusk, yet it displays shocking levels of intelligence. It can navigate mazes, use tools, and even learn to tell individual humans apart. But its most alien feature is hidden from view, pumping through its complex circulatory system. While the blood of almost every fish, reptile, bird, and mammal on Earth is red, the octopus broke the mold. There are rare exceptions, like the strange clear-blooded Antarctic icefish, but they only prove how dominant red blood is. To get how strange this is, you have to appreciate its unique body plan. An octopus has not 1, not 2, but 3 hearts. 2 hearts are dedicated to pumping blood through its gills, the organs that extract oxygen from the water. A third, larger systemic heart then circulates that oxygen-rich blood to the rest of its body. This complex setup is a necessity, but the most important part of this system is the blood itself. When we think of blood, we think red. It's the color of life, passion, and danger. That redness comes from a specific molecule in our blood, but the octopus threw that rulebook out the window. When its blood is carrying oxygen, it's not red. It's a striking, vivid blue, and when it's deoxygenated, it loses its color and becomes clear. This isn't just a surface-level difference. The color is a direct clue to a profound evolutionary choice, a decision made millions of years ago that allowed the ancestors of the octopus to conquer environments where our kind of blood would fail. The question isn't just what makes it blue, but why blue was the answer. To understand the octopus's blue blood, we have to start with our own red blood. The red color comes from a protein called hemoglobin. Think of hemoglobin as a microscopic cargo truck, and its job is to pick up oxygen in your lungs and deliver it to every cell in your body. At the very center of every one of these hemoglobin trucks is a single atom of iron. It's the chemical reaction between iron and oxygen that reflects red light back to our eyes, making our blood appear red. Iron is fantastic at this job, which is why it's the standard for vertebrates. But the octopus uses a completely different system. Its blood doesn't rely on hemoglobin. Instead, it uses a protein called hemocyanin. And here's the crucial difference. Instead of iron, hemocyanin uses copper as its oxygen-binding core. This single atomic swap changes everything, and unlike our hemoglobin, which is neatly packaged into red blood cells, the large hemocyanin molecules float freely in the octopus's blood, which is called hemolymph. When an oxygen molecule binds to the copper atoms at the heart of hemocyanin, the protein changes in a way that causes it to absorb red light and reflect blue light. The result? The blood turns blue. So at its core, the difference between red and blue blood is a simple matter of chemistry, iron versus copper. But in the grand story of evolution, nothing is that simple. This wasn't a random choice. Nature doesn't flip a coin. The switch to copper was a life or death adaptation. It was the solution to a very specific and very deadly problem. So, why would any creature evolve to use a different system? Is hemocyanin better than hemoglobin? The short answer is no, not usually. In fact, for an animal like a human, it would be a disaster. Hemoglobin is generally a more efficient carrier of oxygen than hemocyanin. In warm, oxygen-rich environments like ours, our iron-based blood is king. But the ocean is not always warm and oxygen-rich. As water gets colder and deeper, the amount of dissolved oxygen can drop dramatically. And this is where hemocyanin gets its moment to shine. Iron-based hemoglobin can struggle in very cold, low-oxygen conditions, but copper-based hemocyanin is a specialist. It is much better suited to binding and transporting oxygen in cold water with low oxygen pressure. Think of it this way: hemoglobin is like a set of high-performance summer tires on a race car. On a warm, dry track, they're unbeatable. But take that car into a freezing snowstorm, and those tires become useless. Hemocyanin is like a set of heavy-duty, studded snow tires. They might be slower on a perfect summer day, but in the brutal cold and ice, they're the only thing that will keep you moving. That is what hemocyanin does for the octopus. It allows this incredibly active, intelligent predator to thrive in frigid waters, from polar seas to the oxygen-starved zones of the deep ocean, places where an animal with our blood chemistry would suffocate. It's a perfectly tailored adaptation for a challenging world. The octopus may be the most famous blue blood, but it's far from the only one. It's part of an exclusive group of animals that cracked the copper code. This blue blood club includes many of its mollusk relatives, like snails and squid, but it also includes arthropods like spiders, scorpions, and most crustaceans. They all have blue, copper-based blood. Among these is one of the most ancient and remarkable creatures on Earth, the horseshoe crab. These living fossils have been scuttling along the seafloor for over 450 million years, long before the dinosaurs, and for all that time, they've relied on blue hemocyanin blood. But the horseshoe crab's blood holds another, even more incredible secret, one that has become critically important to modern medicine. Its milky blue blood contains special cells called amoebocytes. These cells are part of the crab's primitive immune system, and they are extraordinarily sensitive to toxic bacteria. When they find dangerous microbes, they instantly clot around them, forming a gel-like barrier that neutralizes the threat. Scientists figured out how to harvest these cells to create a substance called limulus amoebocyte lysate, or LAL. For decades, LAL has been an indispensable tool used to test intravenous drugs, vaccines, and medical devices to ensure they're free from bacterial contamination. This has created a strange relationship between this ancient sea creature and human health. However, the process raises conservation concerns. In recent years, synthetic alternatives like recombinant factor C, based on the crab's biology, have been developed to reduce our reliance on these incredible animals. The story of blue blood, it turns out, is not just about evolution, but also about our own survival. So how did such different animals, a soft-bodied octopus, a hard-shelled crab, a garden snail, all end up with the same blue-blooded solution? This is a perfect example of one of the most beautiful concepts in biology: convergent evolution. Convergent evolution is when unrelated organisms independently evolve similar traits because they face similar challenges. Think about flight. It evolved independently in birds, bats, and insects. They all solved the problem of getting airborne, but their wings are built in fundamentally different ways. The same is true for blood. The problem was universal: how do you efficiently move oxygen from the environment to your cells? Life on Earth came up with two brilliant separate answers. In one corner, you have the hemoglobin lineage, built around iron, which became the standard for vertebrates. In the other, you have the hemocyanin lineage, built around copper, which was adopted by mollusks and arthropods. These two proteins, hemoglobin and hemocyanin, are not directly related. One did not evolve from the other. They are two completely independent inventions, two separate moments of genius in the history of life, both finding a way to use metal atoms to grab onto life-giving oxygen. It proves there's more than one way to solve a problem, and that given the right pressures, evolution will find a way. The idea of alien blood isn't fiction. It's flowing all around us in the oceans, in our backyards, in creatures both common and bizarre. The blue blood of the octopus isn't a flaw or a lesser version of our own. It's a finely tuned survival machine, a testament to the power of evolution to find radical solutions to life's toughest challenges. It tells a story of chemistry, of adaptation, and of the incredible branching paths that life has taken on our planet.